and welcome to Being True, Being Me. And join me today in planning out my bullet journal for the month of May. You might say it is a bit early. Well, yes, but I had a great idea in my mind and literally couldn't wait to start creating. So, here we are. From my own experience, I was rather happy whenever I planned my following month in time. It didn't happen often, but when I managed to do so, it felt right, every single time. No stress at the end of the month, no last-minute search for a theme. As usual, I was scrolling through the internet when this particular picture caught my eye, and I had known immediately. I simply had to try to recreate it. So for this month, we are in for a pastry shop theme. And if you have a feeling I might be overexcited about this, you are correct. This theme to make was a pure joy. I was honestly wondering, why haven't I done this before? I mean, who doesn't love freshly baked pastries? Or a delicious cheesecake topped with berries? Not only is that a feast for your eyes, but the taste, oh my, that is something above and beyond. Well, anyway, enough of the dreaming. I could be here talking about that all day. After last month's successful first attempt at painting with watercolors, here we go for the next chapter. I do have to say that in comparison to April, when I stuck to only one art piece I did for the front page, this time we are in for much more. I might repeat this multiple times in this video, but I honestly think this is the best theme I ever created. Wow, I was just so happy with the final outcome. I know I'm a bit ahead, sorry, but trust me, wait till the very end. It is so worth it. I have to admit, I had a little trouble figuring out the shadows when painting the raspberries. They are not perfect. And sometimes, the shadows do not make much sense. But be tolerant. I am learning. Also, it was the first time I ever tried mixing colors together. I needed a more richer, redder color for the frosting. And initially, I wanted to use the same shade as for the berries. But it was simply too pink. However, when I laced it with red, it turned out perfectly. An experiment of mine this month. A new font. A bit more curly than my usual, but not too much. I didn't want the title to outshine the drawing. That would have been such a shame. I did a very light shadowing to the title to add some depth to it. This was a last-minute thing. I returned to the cake with a black liner to improve its texture. The monthly log. You may have noticed that last month, Saturday and Sunday were one dot narrower than the rest of the days. I wanted the spread to be centered, so that was the reason for that. It turned out not so practical, and it disturbed the page overall. So this time, all the squares are the same size. I wanted to thank you for all the supports you left below the April plan with me. Whether it was a like or a comment, it was so nice. And reading the comments was especially wonderful. So again, a huge thank you. Having the monthly layout on one page and the weeks on the other worked out well for me last month. So I decided to keep that. Oh, and here we go. It might easily be the most cliché thing in the entire world. But what kind of spring it would be without some flowers? And lilacs, besides being my favorite, are so easy to draw. Though I was intimidated by them at first. After studying their anatomy, I'm not even sure if you can say that. If there exists something like an anatomy of a flower. Anyway, they turned out to be quite easy to draw. This one I did using a marker. The next I will paint with watercolors. The trackers. My classic habit tracker. That one is a must for me. I kept a pretty similar design to what I did last time, but the novelty here, since I reduced the number of habits, is that I had a space for another art piece. And maybe I have never managed to bake them correctly. I think I did a pretty decent job in painting them. Macarons. So there we are, following our pastry shop theme. I believe that you have noticed by now how much fond I grew of the watercolors. It used to be such an off-limits thing for me. I never really felt confident enough to pick up the brush. Until very recently. Again, I know that an artistically skilled person watching this might be in a sort of an agony because the way I place the colors and my technique is simply tragic. The only thing I can say to that is I will learn over time, maybe. For now though, I am so delighted with what I can already do. So to any beginners out there, try. If I could do this, you can too. Trust me on this one. As a last touch, I went in with the gel pen and added some touch-ups here and there to enhance the texture and make it look more 3D. I decided to skip Sleep Tracker this month. It was fine, but it didn't add that much value for me, like the Habit or Mood Tracker do. The Mood Tracker has also got a little innovation. It is not the classic graph layout, but rather an artistic one. I numbered the individual blossoms according to the days of the month. And yes, it is pretty random. You are correct. The numbers are placed without any deeper system. I placed the key in the upper right corner, and I spent quite some time deciding whether I want to fill it in with only some patterns, or if I want to make it colorful. But then it could ruin the entire piece if the colors were too crazy. To be honest, it made my head spin for a moment or two. In the end, I went with 4 different markers that somehow passed together, or at least it wasn't a complete pain to look at, and left the category for neutral mood blank. Firstly, it felt fitting. Secondly, I had no other color that would go well with the others, so that's that. And of course, the banners have to be present. It wouldn't be my journal without them. A line a day. This is a very easy spread, and I myself have wanted to try before, but always kind of forgot about it. I am really curious how it will work out for me. The number on the left side represents the day of the month, and the rest of the line is reserved to write down something, anything I would feel like writing down. It could be a quote I will see somewhere, an event worth remembering, or a random fact. The final member of the practical spreads, the weekly layout. This one is again the simplest of them all. But exactly this simplicity, when talking about weeklies, is key for me. And the last page, as usual, the quote of the month. This time going. Sometimes deciding who you are is deciding who you will never be again. Maybe it is just my thing, but it happens to me that sometimes when I read a quote, it just doesn't resonate with me at all. And then I rediscover it in the future, and suddenly it holds such meaning, and I understand it perfectly. Ever happened to anyone? This was actually the first time I used the watercolors before the fine liner. Okay, I hope that at least someone survived this long. And here we go, the final look. I have said this before, but for me, the best month I have created so far. I really do hope you enjoy this video. Let me wish you an amazing day, and I will see you again soon. Bye.